Often seen as a blight on the landscape, billboards, I would suggest to you, are still a critical component, a critical part of the bigger media mix. But often they don't do the job simply because of poor creative execution. So let's explore that in a little bit more detail in conversation now with Dinesh Diar, who is Chief Executive Officer of Ad Outpost. Welcome. Thank you very much for talking to us. First of all, why is billboard advertising still an optimum choice for brands?
Well, I think the simple answer to that is billboard advertising is the oldest medium in the world. And here we are in 2014 still talking about it.
What, going back to cave paintings, I would imagine.
Absolutely, you know. But I think it has a relevant space in the media platform industry. And I think, you know, if we explore how it dovetails or should dovetail with other media platforms, it should be your primary point for brands to make contact with the consumer.
Okay, let's talk about the dovetailing. Is it a starting point for a campaign or is it a finish point?
I think a bit of both, but primarily I would say it's a starting point. And I think the starting point is key to the creative that's on the medium, and that is the part you know, we at Ad Outpost are actually focusing on to a large extent. Poor creative is just wallpaper, and you know, I think that in the South African landscape, unfortunately, there's been a particular culture of poor creative for the longest time.
Let's get to creativity in just a moment, but let me suggest to you that it doesn't matter what the creative is like as long as you have a prime location. Isn't it all about securing the best location?
I think that is a significant factor. Location, 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 absolutely.
Now you sound like an estate agent.
Well, it is a bit of real estate at the end of the day. But you know, at the end of the day, you can have a beautiful location, and let's continue with that theme of real estate, and you could have a really unpleasant looking building, and you'll just drive past that. You can have an excellent location with a stunning building, and you will draw engagement, you will draw praise, you will draw more curiosity. I think the same applies for a billboard. You can have an excellent location, but if your creative is not good, you're not going to draw engagement.
Okay, Dinesh, explain to me then why traditionally creativity is lacking in billboard execution. This is not a new debate.
No, not at all. Well, I think at the heart of this particular problem, I believe that sexy media like radio and television attract the big budgets. And that's where most of creatives want to apply their trade. You know, it's bigger budgets, it's more fun, all of those kind of nice things. I made the point earlier on that I used to work in television and radio, and I had the luxury of 15 to 25 seconds to tell a story. With a billboard ad, you literally have 3 to 5 seconds. And you know, it's interesting that the fastest muscle in the human body, the eye, in tandem with the brain, is having to connect with this creative idea you've gotten there.
Right. Cynically, yeah. let me suggest this to you, that if you have big font and bright colours on a billboard, that'll kind of do the job. Well, obviously, you're going to tell me it's more than that.
Yeah, I think that's being very simplistic, but I think there's some truth in that as well. Big font, simple, bright colors has the ability to attract the eyeball. But at the end of the day, it's one thing attracting, it's another thing engaging it. So what you put up there is, you know, important. Let me give you a quick example. A simple, amazing image on a billboard can literally paint 1,000 words. There's been recent studies. I talked about the fastest muscle in the body being the eye. Can engage with an image in milliseconds and create, depending on the power of that image, a certain amount of resonance that can connect the brand with a particular
So,
message.
like any good advertising, great artwork and good copy. Very quickly, because time's against us. We're now moving into this era, though, of digital billboards. Where's the value?
Well, I think it's a natural evolution of billboard. We spoke about it being the oldest medium in the industry, and I think it's just natural that it's evolving as all other mediums are. Unfortunately, we're speaking about it in today's terms where we're experiencing load shedding, where digital boards require power. So that's a factor one has to take into consideration.
Unless it's a solar-powered billboard, but it's raining at the moment.
Exactly. But again, just coming back to even a digital board, creativity remains king. And I fear that at the moment, it's still in its embryonic stages in South Africa. So creativity in that aspect is going to be key.
All right, some very valuable lessons there for marketers in terms of billboard advertising. Dinesh Diar from Ad Outpost, Chief Executive, thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure, thank you.